Let's start by delving into a profound topic. You see, there's an ancient secret that few people know. It's a secret that's been passed down through the ages, often hidden in plain sight, yet it holds the power to transform your life. This secret is about the nature of reality and how you can influence it. Many people are stuck in their old selves, living out the same patterns, the same routines, the same thoughts, and expecting different results. But the key to true transformation lies in understanding that you can create your future, not from the known, but from the unknown. Think about it this way. The old self is rooted in the past. It's a collection of memories, habits, and emotions that have been wired into your brain and body over time. To become the new self, you must undergo a neurological, biological, chemical, and genetic transformation. This means letting go of the old self and embracing the unknown. It means stepping into the river of change where you can't predict your future but can create it from a place of infinite possibilities. Now let's talk about thoughts. Your thoughts are the language of the brain, and your feelings are the language of the body. To create a new reality, you need to fire and wire new thoughts in your brain. You can't wait for external circumstances to change how you feel inside. You must first feel the emotions of your desired future. You can't wait for your wealth to feel abundance. You can't wait for your success to feel empowered. You can't wait for the mystical moment to feel awe. You can't wait for your new relationship to feel love or your new job to feel gratitude. This is the old model of reality, where we wait for something outside of us to change how we feel inside. But in the quantum model of reality, we cause and effect. When you feel whole, you begin to heal. When you feel empowered, you become successful. When you feel worthy, you attract abundance. When you are in love with life and yourself, you will find an equal or it will find you. And when you are in awe of the moment, the mystical will bless you in ways you never anticipated. When you are in a state of gratitude, your job is on the way. This is causing an effect. Think about gratitude. What is the emotional signature of gratitude? You give thanks when you receive something, right? But what if you began to give thanks before it manifested? Would your body, as the unconscious mind, believe it is in the future experience in the present moment? Because gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. In our work, we don't pray to have our prayers answered. We get up as if our prayers are already answered. This requires a clear intention and an elevated emotion. The clear intention is an act of the mind and the brain, and the elevated emotion is when you open your heart. When you combine these two elements, you move from living in your past to living in your future. So, can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about it enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the experience has already occurred? Can you fall in love with a future potential that exists in the quantum field? There are infinite potentials in the quantum field. Can you select a new potential and emotionally embrace that future reality before it manifests, to the degree that your body believes it's living in that future reality in the present moment? If there's physical evidence in your brain and body that looks like the experience has already happened, there's evidence there physically by thought alone. Relax, because the experience is going to find you. There's an intelligence that gives you life right now. It keeps your heart beating, digests your food, and organizes trillions of functions in every cell of your body. This intelligence is the same that creates supernovas in distant galaxies and causes flowers to bloom. It's both personal and universal. It's within you and all around you. You can't see it, smell it, taste it, or feel it, but it is the giver of life. It's a consciousness, and consciousness is awareness. Awareness is paying attention, and it is the observer observing you into life. You can be defined by a vision of the future or the memories of the past. When people say, "Why are you so bitter? Why are you so frustrated? Why are you suffering so much?" It's because they're emotionally connected to the past. The brain in that emotion calls up the event because you're emotionally connected to it. You say, "I'm this way because of that past experience." but we never need to revisit the event. What we need to do is overcome the emotion that's lasting from the event. So sit down and notice your body's reactions. If you're hot, irritated, or your stomach is twisting, these are sensations that you have named frustration. But they are just bodily sensations, energy stuck in the body. The body is looking to go back to the past because it believes it's in the past. If you become aware of this and settle your body into the present moment, the body starts to trust the present moment and moves out of the past. There's a release of energy. Then the body tries to anticipate the future, settle it back into the present moment. Each time you do this, you're telling the body it's no longer the mind. You're the mind, and your will is greater than the program. You lower the volume of that emotion, breaking the addiction to it. The side effect is joy, freedom. The body doesn't want to be tormented anymore. Grieving is a natural process, a biological one. It's neural pruning, a death of circuitry and emotions, an absence of something in your life. It's important. In grief, you must come to a greater understanding of death, loss, and adapt to those conditions. But when someone complains about their life, it's because it's not working. The emotion they're feeling keeps them connected to the past. This never happens when life is working. Moving through stages of emotions is part of life, but ultimately, people want to be free. I've witnessed transformations across cultures, skin colors, shapes, sizes, and ages. The same radiance takes place in a person's face, a light behind their eyes, a different physical presentation. This person has worked to overcome themselves. It's not that we shouldn't feel emotions, we should feel them completely. Now let's talk about this ancient secret. It's about the power of your mind and the nature of reality. This secret has been known by wise people throughout history, and it can transform your life if you truly understand it. The key to this secret lies in the quantum field, which is a place of infinite possibilities. Imagine the quantum field as an invisible space that contains every possible outcome you could ever imagine. Every potential you could ever want already exists there. Whether it's success, happiness, love, health, or wealth, all these possibilities are available to you in the quantum field. But how do you access them? That's where the power of your mind comes in. To tap into the quantum field and bring these potentials into your life, you must first change your mind. Your thoughts and emotions play a crucial role in this process. The way you think and feel determines the reality you experience. If you want to change your life, you need to change your thoughts and emotions. This means you must start thinking in new ways. Instead of focusing on what you lack or what you fear, you should focus on what you desire and what brings you joy. Positive thoughts are like seeds that you plant in your mind. Over time, these seeds grow into the reality you experience. By consciously choosing to think positively, you can create a better future for yourself. Emotions are just as important as thoughts. The way you feel influences the energy you send out into the universe. If you constantly feel sad, angry, or worried, you're sending out negative energy, and this attracts negative experiences into your life. On the other hand, if you feel happy, grateful, and loving, you're sending out positive energy, which attracts positive experiences. To truly harness the power of your mind, you must become the person who already has what you desire. This is the essence of the ancient secret: to be, do, and have. Let's break this down further. First, you need to be. This means embodying the qualities of the person you want to become. If you desire success, start by thinking and acting like a successful person. If you want to be happy, start by cultivating happiness within yourself. This might involve changing your habits, your mindset, and even the way you carry yourself. By becoming the person who already has what you desire, you align yourself with that potential in the quantum field. Second, you need to do. This involves taking action towards your goals. It's not enough to just think and feel positively. You also need to take steps to make your dreams a reality. This might mean setting goals, making plans, and working hard to achieve them. By taking action, you show the universe that you are serious about your desires, and this helps to bring them into your life. When you change your mind, you change your life. You can't wait for the outer world to change before you feel better. You must change your inner world first. You must fire and wire new thoughts in your brain. You must feel the emotions of your future reality now. This is how you create a new reality. When you do this, the quantum field responds. It begins to bring you the experiences that match your new state of being. The ancient secret is about coherence. Coherence is when your mind and heart are in alignment. It's when your thoughts and feelings match. When you are coherent, you are powerful. You are in a state of receivership. You are sending out a clear signal to the quantum field. The field responds by bringing you more of what you are coherent about. To achieve coherence, you must practice meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool that allows you to go beyond your past and create a new future. When you meditate, you are no longer just your body, no longer just your environment, and no longer just time. You become pure consciousness. In this state, you enter the realm of infinite possibilities. Meditation helps you to step away from your daily worries and stresses. When you sit quietly and focus inward, you can let go of the constant chatter in your mind. This helps you to feel calm and centered. By focusing on your breath or a particular thought, you can quiet your mind and reach a state of deep relaxation. This is the first step in moving beyond your past and opening up to new possibilities. When you meditate, you are not just sitting quietly. You are engaging in a powerful practice that can change your brain and your life. In this state of deep relaxation and focus, your brain waves slow down. You move from the busy beta state, where you are alert and thinking about your day, to the more relaxed alpha and theta states. In these slower brainwave states, you can access the subconscious mind. This is where you can make real changes in your thoughts and emotions. In meditation, you are not limited by your physical body. You can imagine yourself in any situation, achieving any goal. This is the power of visualization. By picturing yourself living your dreams, you can start to feel the emotions associated with those dreams. You can feel the joy, excitement, and fulfillment of achieving your goals. This emotional experience is very powerful because it helps to wire new thoughts and feelings into your brain. This is how you start to create a new reality for yourself. In the meditative state, you are also not bound by your environment. You can go beyond the limitations of your current situation. You're not limited by your home, your job, or your daily routine. You can imagine yourself in any place, doing anything you desire. This helps to open your mind to new possibilities and new ways of thinking. It helps you to break free from the patterns and habits that have been holding you back. Time is another limitation that you can overcome through meditation. In your normal waking state, you are often focused on the past or the future. You may worry about things that have already happened or stress about things that have not yet occurred. But in meditation, you can bring your focus to the present moment. You can experience the now fully and completely. This helps to reduce stress and anxiety and allows you to experience peace and contentment. When you are in this state of pure consciousness, you are in the realm of infinite possibilities. You can create anything you desire. You can rehearse your future by imagining yourself living the life you want. You can mentally practice being the person you want to be. This mental rehearsal is very powerful because it helps to create new neural pathways in your brain. This is what is meant by firing and wiring new thoughts. You are literally creating a new way of thinking and being. Emotionally embracing your future reality is another important part of meditation. When you feel the emotions associated with your dreams, you are telling your brain and body that this is your new reality. Your brain does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. So, by feeling the emotions of your desired future, you are training your brain and body to believe that this future is already happening. This helps to attract that future into your life. When you come out of meditation, you must carry that state of being into your day. You must act as if your future reality is already here. You must think, feel, and act as if you are already that person. This is how you create a new reality. This is how you bring the future into the present. The ancient secret also involves the power of intention. Your intention is a powerful force. When you have a clear intention, you are sending out a signal to the quantum field. The field responds by bringing you the experiences that match your intention. But your intention must be coupled with an elevated emotion. This is the key. When you combine a clear intention with an elevated emotion, you are creating a new reality. You are causing an effect. So the secret is also about energy. Everything is energy. You are energy. Your thoughts and emotions are energy. The quantum field is energy. To change your reality, you must change your energy. You must raise your vibration. You must become a vibrational match to your desired future. This means letting go of the old self and embracing the new self. Like to have a new job? What would it be like to be in a new relationship, to do whatever, to be healed? The moment you ask that question, the part of your brain called the frontal lobe, which is the crowning achievement of the human being, 40% of your brain is the frontal lobe. It's the workshop, it's the creative center. Frontal lobe has connections to all other parts of your brain. The moment you ask an open-ended question, you speculate a possibility. The creative center turns on, and it looks out over the landscape of the entire brain, and it begins to call up different networks of neurons that are stored in your brain based on something you've learned intellectually, knowledge, or something you've experienced in your life. Like, well, I know what it is to be in love, or I know what it is to have a good job, or I read a book about it, and it begins to call up these different networks of neurons, and then it seamlessly pieces them together to create a new idea, a new vision. Now listen, your body's gonna go like, well, we gotta get a cup of coffee, and you gotta go, I'm tired, and you gotta go, body, you're not the mind, I'm the mind right now. You're gonna sit here, I'm gonna feed you, you're gonna get your coffee, you're going to do all those things, but right now, this is my time. You're going to obey me, right? So now the body's no longer the mind, you're the mind. And so when it wants to get up and you become aware of it, you return back to the present moment. Every time you do, that's a victory. And you're changing some aspect of yourself. So then ask yourself, I do this all the time. Write down 4 thoughts that you're going to stay conscious of the whole day. I can't, it's too hard. You'd be surprised the moment you become conscious of what those thoughts are, how unconscious you've been to them all day, all for weeks on end. Write down what you speak, how you speak, 4 things you want to change, how you act, how do you act? Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? That's a victim consciousness. What emotions do you live by? Is it possible that you're so used to living by guilt you don't even know it's guilt, it just feels like you? Do you allow your energy to drop? Become conscious of those states of mind and body and review them and say, this is the old self. Then say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? And start firing and wiring and start feeling it. What behaviors will I demonstrate today? What choices will I make? One day, one lifetime, just like you did, rehearse them. Rehearse the whole entire thing. Begin to install the neurological hardware in your brain. And if you keep installing it, the hardware is going to become a software program, and you're going to start thinking and acting that way. And then here's the tough part. Can you teach your body emotionally what your future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? And don't get up until you feel that way. Now practice that for a few days and then see if you can stay in that state and watch all of a sudden all those weird doors start opening for you. Synchronicities, whatever they are. Number 2, take time at the end of your day before you lay down, and give thanks for your life. Feel gratitude and really teach your body what it feels like. The emotional signature of gratitude. Gratitude means you're getting something. If I give you something that's of value, you would say thank you because you would feel it, right? So when you're receiving, you're giving thanks. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So then people only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. So if you're in a state of gratitude, every thought's gonna make it right down into your body. If you're saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and your body's programmed the negativity, it's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not, thought's going to stop right here. So as you elevate your state, there are about 100-200 different chemical reactions that go on in the body that begin to restore and repair the body in a state of gratitude. And so we've done the research to prove that. 10 minutes and just feel it with all of your heart. That's it. The third thing, and very important, take time. Whenever it is, sit down, close your eyes, and begin to just open your awareness to the space around you and just sense it and pay attention to it and become more aware of it. The act of opening your awareness begins to reduce the stress hormones and creates more coherent brainwave states. I'm doing it right now. It's just a practice. It's just a practice. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences. They come from our memories. In fact, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of all the things you've learned and experienced to date. It's an artifact. And when you have an experience, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your 5 senses plug you into the external environment. And as your brain is processing all of this vital sensory data, all of that information rushes back to the brain, and when it reaches the brain, it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks, to string into patterns, to reflect their interaction with their external environment. The moment those neurons organize into patterns, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And so experiences tend to create more long-term memories because it patterns or stamps or embosses networks of neurons into very specific patterns. And then the emotional quotient helps us to remember the event. So we learn something new intellectually. We also cause networks of neurons to form. The Nobel Prize laureate Kandel in the year 2000 found that when people learn just one bit of information, they double the number of connections in their brain from 1,300 connections to 2,600 connections. So if they didn't review that information or repeat it, the connections pruned apart. So we know then that learning semantic information begins to organize circuitry in the brain, and experiences enrich the brain. The end product of experience, of course, is the emotion, and it causes us to feel certain ways. You can remember where you were on 9/11. You can tell me who you were with, what time of day it was, what you were doing, because whatever you were seeing in that moment or hearing in that moment changed how you were feeling. And the moment you felt altered or you felt differently, significantly, your brain perked up and you paid attention to whatever caused that. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then most of our thoughts and feelings tend to be within the neural circuitry of the past and the emotions of the past chemically. So if you take a thought, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So if you combine a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, and you have a series of good thoughts that are connected to a series of good feelings. That cycle of thinking and feeling creates what's called an attitude. If you have a series of negative thoughts that are connected to some pretty bad feelings, you'll say, I have a pretty bad attitude today. So if how you think and how you feel creates a state of being, then attitudes are just shortened states of being. You feel good in the morning, you feel bad in the afternoon. If you take an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, and you begin to string attitudes together, when you combine an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, you start to form what's called beliefs. Now, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again until you hardwire it in your brain. And because beliefs are based on past experiences, then the very boundaries of our beliefs are how we feel. And so when our beliefs get challenged, it typically doesn't feel right. I know from the research that we've done that the redundancy of thinking and feeling and thinking over time, for example, a person has an insecure thought, then they feel insecure. The moment they feel insecure, they think more insecure thoughts. They fire and wire more circuits in their brain to feel more chemicals of insecurity. And then once they're feeling insecure, they think more insecure thoughts. And they do this over and over again. Right on the other side of your fear is courage. Right on the other side of your sadness is joy. It's the same energy. It's just trapped in the body. And when you stretch yourself past that point and you break free from the chains of those emotional addictions, the side effect of that is called joy. And the body is liberated from that level of mind. And when that happens, there's available energy to create with. And so when you break through that, you begin to love yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And you begin to love and respect others because you see yourself in them. And now that you're free from it, you can understand them with compassion without knee-jerking in the same way. So the difficulty here is really making the time to do it. And if you began to think about a new way of being and you moved into a state where you said, I'm not going to get up until I am this person. And not only did you memorize it neurologically in your brain, but you allowed the thoughts that you were thinking to become the experience to the point that your body, as the unconscious mind, began to live in that future reality in the present moment. And when you got up, when mind and body were working together in that state of being, and you said, I'm going to maintain the state of being my entire day, and I don't care. Bring on the challenges, because I want to test my greatness. And you did that the entire day. The end of your day, when you finished your day, more than likely you'd have more energy than when you started. The literal translation of the word meditation in Tibetan means to become familiar with. The symbol means to become familiar with. So if you're becoming conscious of or familiar with your unconscious self to the point you're so conscious of your unconscious thoughts, so familiar with your unconscious habits, and so aware of your emotions that you would never let them go by unnoticed by you. There's no chance for you to return back to the old self, to know thyself. So people wake up in the morning and they start thinking about their problems. And those problems are memories in the brain that are connected to certain people and certain things at certain times and places. So they wake up in the morning and they start thinking in the past. Now, the moment they start having those thoughts, every one of those experiences has an emotion associated with it. So when they start thinking about their problems or the problems of the world or the problems of their body or whatever it is, problems at work, they all of a sudden start to feel the correlated emotion. So now their body's in the past. So now people then get caught up in an emotion, they reaffirm their identity, they could wake up in the morning and feel nothing at all. And then all of a sudden they say, well, wait a second, I've got to get back to myself. So they start thinking about their problems, and here come the emotions. And they say, oh, now I feel like me again. So those emotions then begin to influence our thoughts. Like if you feel like a failure, you're going to think you're a failure. And when you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. And when you feel like a failure, you're going to think more thoughts equal to being a failure. And the cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking causes you to say, I am a failure. And the repetition of that process of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking conditions the body to become the mind of that emotion. Now the emotion is stored in the body. Now the body's literally in the past. And the body, as the unconscious mind, doesn't know the difference between the actual experience that's creating the emotion and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. Your body's believing it's in the same experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So then getting people out of the past is the work. So then they wake up in the morning after they reaffirm who they are, and they can't think greater than how they feel. They're in the familiar past. So if you're in the familiar past, you're going to do the things that reaffirm the emotions of your predictable future. So you wake up in the morning, you check your WhatsApp, you check your text, you check your Twitter, you tweet, you check your Facebook, you check your email, you check the news. Now you are really connected to everything that's known in your life. And then you run through a series of routine behaviors. You move around your house the same way you always do. You do all the same things. You go to the same grocery store, you buy the same food, you shop the same way, you do all these, you watch the same TV shows, and people do this for 10, 20, 30 years. Now their body's on autopilot, and their body's dragging them into a predictable future based on what they did in the past. You could actually take their yesterday and lift it up and set it on their tomorrow, which means then they've lost their free will to a program. So now the familiar past and the predictable future is called the known. There's only one place that you have to train a person to be so that they're not in the known, they're in the unknown, and that's called the present moment. So people get very happy being unhappy because they would rather cling to their unhappiness than take a chance in possibility. So stepping into that river and beginning to make a new choice and understanding that uncertainty, that unpredictability is the unknown. Now you're in that river of change, and it is the neurological, the biological, the chemical, hormonal, genetic death of the old self. People say to me, well, if there's uncertainty, I can't predict my future. And I always say the same thing. The best way to predict your future is to create it, not in the known, right there. That uncertainty, you can learn now how to regulate your state instead of living in fear, because the idea that things are going to get worse, the idea that you can't predict, the idea of being uncertain or can't control something actually sets off the stress response. So now you're in the unknown, and this survival gene is switched on. Of course, people are going out of the infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field. They're going to select the worst scenario in their mind, right? So then what if you're in the unknown and you understand that, and now you can work back into that present moment and you say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain, put my attention behind? What behaviors today, one day, what behaviors do I want to demonstrate? And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now the brain is no longer a record of the past.